Is it really that much different, or is it just kind of it's not a wholesale change? It sounds like from a regular week.
Well, no, it is. I mean, from a normal game week, you're just so routine in kind of your approach of it's this percent red zone and this percent, third downs and all that kind of stuff that you normally kind of ramp up to game day. And so with the extra time, we're taking advantage of it to go recruiting. A bunch of our coaches are gone recruiting. We're getting some guys with some nicks and dings, trying to get everybody healthy. Still stay sharp, still practicing fast, and then get our young guys a bunch of team reps that they would not normally see. And we'll continue that through tomorrow, and then they'll have the weekend off.
It seems like they get those young guys a lot of reps, regardless. Now it's just multiplied.
Well, they're getting our reps. They're playing our offense and defense. Normally during the year, if you're a redshirting freshman defensive lineman or offensive lineman, you're on the scout team. So you're playing. Next week there'll be full-fledged Cal on both sides of the ball. So this week we're trying to get them a little bit more Oregon offense and defense and get them some reps for the future.
Early fall camp, you said their heads were spinning with all the influx. Now that they're kind of going back and forth between my Cal, right, my Oregon, is this kind of the same thing?
There's a little bit of it. Yeah, you can certainly tell who's been studying their Oregon playbook and who hasn't, which is unique here that we have so much time before school starts that they have a little bit more time to get in their playbook and get some practice. But pleased with how they've worked, and the older guys have worked well, and we've gotten some productive practices in.
Which young guys have stood out now in these Oregon reps?
Oh gosh, it's a tough question. I don't know. The defense was dominating today, and there were two different team periods today, and the defense kind of got the better of the offense in the first one, and the second one is probably flipped around. So a little bit of both. The linebackers really did a good. Danny Mattingly showed up a bunch. Offensively, Lane Roseberry had a couple big runs. Trying to think of who else. B.J. Kelly made a couple catches. But it's a mixed bag, because when you get one guy, it's like the beginning of fall camp all over again. If you get one guy to screw up, and that affects 21 other guys out on the field. So,
with O'Shea changing positions, is he a guy who this week you want to kind of get more and more chances to see him at linebacker?
He's a guy that and will continue to move around a little bit, just to keep him versatile and then keep us deep at multiple positions. But he's done a good job. This week he's a guy that showed up several times.
By move around, you mean moving him still some at safety or to kind of all linebacker positions?
All that. He's a guy, Tyson's a guy. There's a couple of guys that we're going to kind of project that way down the road of just there's a lot of multiple similar roles that those guys can play, and just the more depth a guy can present for a team, the more versatile he is, the more he has a chance to play, and so that's a good thing.
What are you seeing out of him at linebacker in the month or so?
He's been good. He's a versatile athlete. He's a tough guy. He's long, and now he just needs to play with confidence at all those spots. Which that's the hardest thing is you're kind of processing a guy that's sometimes an inside linebacker is uncomfortable outside, because action only happens, if you're playing on the left side of the defense, kind of all your action is to your right. Some guys don't like that. Some guys want the, full-fledged 360-degree action, and some guys it's the exact opposite. And so when you're at safety, there's kind of a mix of both those things. At outside linebacker, it's more of you're playing one side, and it's just a matter of being fully confident. But all indications say he's got a bright future.
Matt Wogan came in and drilled a field goal. Alejandro missed one. Is the kicking competition closer to being resolved, or in your mind is it still totally ongoing?
It's not. We were talking about that yesterday. Basically, one kick made it by about 5 or 6 inches, and one kick missed it by about 5 or 6 inches, and so. And then Matt had a couple. He was the guy that was in there last week at Virginia when a couple of hands got on the balls, just lower kicks, and kind of lucked into those going over the crossbar. But it's ongoing. Yeah.
Is there a target date that you want to have one kicker? Would you be okay with this going like this throughout the whole year?
We'd be okay. I mean, that's not something that is, a pressing issue of any kind.
Okay.
Can you talk about Matt Wogan's strengths a little bit?
Matt Wogan's strengths. He's a great guy, really, really high character guy. Comes from a great family, really smart guy. has a very powerful leg, and just needs to relax and play. You know, kickers are like, you know, it's like guys standing on the golf tee and they start thinking about their right thumb and the tree and all this other stuff, and just swing. You know, just be pure, and you know, sometimes that's easier said than done, but he's doing a great job. You know, he's really done an outstanding job kicking the ball off. Our hang time, our coverage has been really good, and a lot of that is due to the kick.
How important is the defense getting the other team off the field in what your offense needs to do? We saw, I think on Sunday, watching the Eagles game, the Chargers were able to stay on the field for a long time. I think that affected that game, and people don't talk about that a lot with you guys and with this offense.
Our defense has been awesome. You know, they've been outstanding, and I think, in any scheme, your defense wants to get the other team's offense off the field, and you know, they've done a great job of just making teams earn it. You know, we've had a couple explosive plays, very, very few, and that's the name of the game. If they can check it down to the tight end for 6 yards for a 90-yard drive, more power to them.
If there's one area of improvement for the defense, what do you think it is?
Tackling, you know, and then every single guy run into the ball every single play. That's what we really pride ourselves on. That's another thing we try to instill in our young guys in these practices where they're out there is just learning our way, you know, and that's running on the field and running off the field. And when you're in, you're full speed, period. And so part of that is we're trying to ingrain that right now, and it's constant reinforcement. You know, that's not a naturally occurring thing, is to play with maximum effort, maximum strain every play, and the majority of our guys do that, which is awesome.
Is there one specific position group you're looking to spend a little more time on, improve?
Not really. I think, you know, everybody's trying to improve. Every coach, every player, every person involved in our program, we're constantly trying to improve. And we're not a finished project by any stretch, in any phase. And, you know, a couple weeks ago we couldn't throw the ball, and now we're the best throwing team in the history of the world. And, you know, and so it's somewhere in between.
Why do you think you guys have had so much success running off the tackles?
Why? Is that what you said? I don't know. You know, it's we've got a couple really fast guys, and that helps out. Some of it's the way that teams have played us, that presented some edges, or just trying to you know, keep people off balance of hammering inside and attacking the perimeter.